It starts with your mindset. Get Unstuck Part 1. We're going to be talking about in this next series of videos of how you get unstuck. If you're stuck, like just in life in general, in some certain area of your life, we're going to be talking about getting unstuck. And it starts with your mindset. All right. So I'm excited about this. Let's dive right into it. Okay. It starts with your mindset. How to get unstuck Part 1. You want to check this series out. Okay, I want to read a quote real quick, and we're going to dive into some principles as it relates to getting unstuck. A man who is lost, a man or a woman who is lost in a forest and knows he is lost may find his way out. A man who is lost in the forest and does not know he is in greater trouble, for that man is deceived. Okay, if we are stuck, if we are lost, we got to know we're lost or stuck. We have to acknowledge that. And that's one of the keys of getting unstuck. You got to know you're stuck. Okay. And sometimes we live in this fantasy world that everything's okay when it's not okay. And we have to be honest with ourselves if things are not okay, if we are stuck mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, if something's going on, if you can't get over the hump, if you're always experiencing the same issue or trial or trauma or trouble over and over and over and over and over again, we have to acknowledge the fact that we may be lost or stuck and we got to get some help. Okay? I don't know if the help is from a coach. I don't know if the help is from a counselor. I don't know if the help is from a mentor. I don't know if the help is from a pastor. I don't know where the help you gonna get from. Okay, I don't know if you need to hit me up and inbox me. I don't know where the help comes from. But guess what? We gotta get some help if you're unstuck. So my goal for this video today is to provide some principles, part 1, on how to get unstuck. Okay, but it starts with your mind. So we're going to be dealing with your thinking. We're going to be dealing with, some positive thinking. We're going to be dealing with some mindset stuff because it starts with your mind. I never forget, man, my wife, man, been married to her, man, we're going on 7 years now. You know what I'm saying? We've been together for much longer than that. That's another story for another day. And my wife, man, we were shopping for a house and we found a house that we wanted to purchase. So I went to the home inspection without her. She said, I want to know every detail of the home inspection. Okay. My wife, I'm talking about FBI detective detail. She wanted to know all the details. So what did I do? I recorded, I took notes, and after the home inspection, we went back to our apartment at the time and we talked about the home inspection. Okay, and I told her all the details. This is what happened. Okay, this is what he said. I ran through the entire list. And what did my wife do? My wife, right after the home inspection, she called another man, okay, older man, you know what I'm saying, one of our good friends. She called another man to get a second opinion about the details of the home inspection. And I was like, time out. First of all, this dude wasn't even there. I was in my feelings. I ain't gonna hold you up. She was like, what's wrong? Y'all know how we do. She was like, what's wrong? Clearly something's wrong because she's asking me what's wrong and I'm wearing my emotions on my sleeve. And I was like, ain't nothing wrong. I'm good. She said, are you sure? I'm sure, nothing wrong. She asked a third time. I said, I'm in my feelings a little bit. She said, why? I said, I just went to the home inspection. I took detailed notes. I gave you a report and you went to somebody else to talk about the same thing I talked about you. And he said the same thing I said. What's up with that? You don't trust me? I was all in my feelings. And my wife said, it helps me when I have a second opinion to confirm the information. It's not a you thing. It's not that I don't trust you. I trust you, and I just want a second opinion because that helps my thought process in making major decisions. And because I love my wife and I care about my wife, I had to rethink. I could have perpetuated this thing and drug it out and been beefed out for like, you know what I'm saying, a month. You know what I'm saying? Having no sex. You know what I'm saying? Getting none of that. Okay. Like all because I got in my feelings. I had to rethink. And that's what I'm saying, that you can get stuck, okay? But in order to get unstuck, you got to pause and rethink and be like, and in that situation, in my marriage situation, I was definitely overcomplicating, overthinking, over emotional. And I could have like been beefed out with my wife over something small. But now I understand a little more of how she processes information, how she thinks, how she looks at certain situations. So now I have rethought that thing. And when now this confirmation and different stuff arises, I ain't tripping like that because I did the work and I rethink and I self-assess. And I said, you know what? I'm tripping. Okay, I'm tripping. All right. So you got to rethink. Here we go. So first thing that we got to rethink. Okay, we got to rethink you. I got to rethink me. You got to rethink you. Okay, this is huge. I want to read this quote from Eric Thomas. He says something very powerful. Eric Thomas says, self-assessment is not always easy. In fact, it is difficult, if not painful, for most people to acknowledge their own weaknesses. It is what some would refer to blind spots, which in this case is nothing more than the aspect of your life that you're unaware of. First of all, y'all, we got to rethink ourselves. And we got to have like self-awareness. We have to be aware of our blind spots, our weaknesses, what we suck at, what we're not good at, what we struggle in, if we're going to get unstuck. Because let me tell you this, being stuck is usually a you problem and not an everyone else problem. I know it's easy to blame other people. I know, but I want you to rethink it. You could blame the other person in your relationship, but I'm asking you to rethink it. Now, listen, I always like to preface this and say, I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about anything harmful. Okay. I'm not talking about real victims going through terrible things. Okay, so get that out your mind. Don't be trying to cancel me or nothing like that. I'm just talking about like life situations, stuff that you can control. Okay, 9 times out of 10, if you are stuck, if you stuck in a rut, you got to rethink you. Okay, there's an adjustment that you have to make that you may not see. And that's where other people around you have to be honest with you to be like, yo, you may want to adjust this. You got to self-assess and look at the ugly, the nasty, the painful holes in your own character and mindset if you're going to get unstuck. But a lot of people can't do it. I'm telling you right now. And one thing I love to master in, I love to master in owning my own mistakes, owning my own boo-boo, owning my own dirt. It was me. I did it. Yeah, you're right. I got a character flaw in this area. I'm struggling in this area. I'm trying to do all the self-assessment. I'm inconsistent. You're right. It was me. Because if we're going to improve, if we're going to get unstuck, it starts in the mind and it starts with you putting in the work to get unstuck. All right. I hope this is making sense. Like, put something in the comments. All right. Am I making sense to you? Or are you like, bro, you all over the place? I don't understand. You not helping me get unstuck. Okay. You got to be self-aware. Now, here are some symptoms that you might not be self-aware. I just got to give these to you. Okay. I got to give you these symptoms. Here we go. If you're getting angry or frustrated when you receive feedback or constructive criticism, you may not be self-aware. Anytime somebody tells you, gives you feedback or criticize you, you got to be self-aware. If you put something in the chat right now that was criticizing, that was painful, they're like, hey, bro, you suck. I can't stand your voice. There's a hint of truth in it. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you take it or not, like, you have to take an honest look at criticism and feedback. You got to be real with yourself. Okay? So if you get angry or frustrated, anytime somebody give you feedback, can't nobody check you, can't nobody correct you, you got a self-assessment problem. You got a self-awareness problem. And that could be the reason you are stuck, because you can't take real feedback and criticism. Somebody say something to you, you crying. You spiral out. Okay? Don't spiral out. That might be the key to you getting where you want to be. All right, here we go. If you never seek out areas of improvement and always seeking for praise for a job well done, that's fire. Okay, you're lacking in the self-awareness department if you're always seeking praise and you're never seeking improvement. And if you're seeking improvement and you say, hey, give me some feedback on ways to improve, and somebody give you feedback on ways to improve, and you get mad at the feedback and you get angry at the feedback, well, you asked me for feedback on how you can improve. I told you, and you got mad at me and crucified me anyway. My bad. That might have been personal. That came from a personal place. I'm sorry. Somebody did that. You know what I'm saying? And I went back there and I brought it to the camera. I apologize. That wasn't for you. That was personal. Okay, I had to get that off my chest. You asked me for feedback. I gave it to you. Now you're mad at me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help somebody get unstuck, because a lot of times the hard truth is that sometimes we love for people to praise us and tell us how good we are, but we can't stand correction and people checking us and tell us how we can improve. And if you want to be great, if you want to reach your destiny, if you want to reach your goals, you got to be able to receive the hard feedback on areas you can improve. Now I'm trying to help somebody get unstuck. Can't nobody tell you what to do about your marriage. Can't nobody tell you about what you can do with your ministry. Can't nobody tell you how you can improve about your eating habits. Can't nobody tell you how you can improve, you know what I'm saying, being a better parent. Can't nobody tell you how to improve. You get offended and so salty and so angry and so vindictive all the time because somebody's trying to help you, but you take their help as they hurting you and they hating on you when they not doing so. My bad, y'all. My bad. I didn't know this was all going to come out in this video. Here we go. Let me move to the next point. You blame other people. Okay. I'm talking about some symptoms. If you lack self-awareness, okay, you're blaming others for why he or she did not do his or her best work. Like, you didn't do your best work, and you're blaming somebody else for it. That's like me making this video and it didn't work for whatever reason, and I'm blaming somebody else for it. That's like somebody, you know what I'm saying, coming to interrupt me and I blame them for the interruption. Okay, let me say this. Anytime you blame somebody else, you need to take a hard look at your self-assessment. If you can count how many times you've blamed somebody else for something wrong in your life, count it. Listen, I got daddy issues. I ain't gonna hold you. I got daddy issues. I can't blame my daddy for the lack of finances in my life. I can't blame my dad for not knowing how to treat my wife. I can't blame my dad for all this stuff wrong in my life. I can't do that anymore. I could have did that when I was 8. I could have did that when I was 16. I could have did that when I was 17. But as soon as I became a man, as soon as I got to be responsible, guess what? The blame ain't on him no more. It's on me. Man, my bad, y'all. Here we go. I don't know why I'm apologizing. Here we go. I gotta be done. This is why I'm doing this in parts, because we truly got to understand, and we really have to realize, okay, like how to get unstuck. But if we're going to get unstuck, y'all, it starts in the mind and it's going to take some work. This is a mind. I'm talking about like a transformation, life. Okay. And this work is not done until we dead. We're always going to be doing this. Here we go. Last thing on self-awareness. Another symptom. Last symptom. You think that you deserve more than others to be doing a particular thing. You look at others and you like, I deserve that more than others. You lack self-awareness. Yo, I should have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm lacking self-awareness. I ain't put out no content. I ain't been consistent. I haven't been focused. I haven't invested in learning how to produce on YouTube. What you mean? I deserve to have this. I don't deserve it. My bad. Self-awareness. So first you got to rethink you. And you have to look at your positive character traits and your negative character traits. And you have to be honest about both. You can't be making up positive stuff and then dismissing negative character traits. You have to be honest about both. Okay, I can be very inconsistent at times. I have to be honest about my own negative character mistakes. I can be devious at times. Okay, I got that probably from growing up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get no whooping. How do you get out of whoopings? By being devious. So I've done it so many times. I got good at being devious. That's a negative character trait that I have to be aware of. And because I'm aware of it and I take responsibility for it, now I can do something about it. But when you're unaware, or you're aware and you don't take responsibility for it, now you blame other people or you take it off to the show. I gotta pause this because I gotta find this quote. I read this quote in the book. I gotta go get the book. And I gotta show you this real. Here's a quote. Arrogance. Okay, and we're gonna be doing something with this book right here. This is life changing. You don't got this book, you gotta get it. It's life changing. Here we go. Arrogance paired with awareness is toxic. That means if you are aware of your negative character trait, but you're arrogant about it and you're prideful about it, that means you are toxic. Okay. Now, why am I going through this? Okay. Why do it seem like I'm like kind of going in? I'm kind of going in because if we're going to get unstuck, we have to start with ourselves. And that means we have to ask ourselves the question, what do I need to adjust to get unstuck? Because getting unstuck has to do with you. Okay. You got to take that personal. And the reason why it has to do with you, because you have to be responsible, take responsibility for getting unstuck. I'm going to leave you with this. If you are responsible for getting unstuck, that means you have the power to get unstuck. But if you blame or give the responsibility to somebody else to get you unstuck, that means you have to wait until somebody else makes the decision, or somebody else move, or somebody else do something to get you unstuck. And you may be waiting a long time on somebody else because somebody else ain't thinking about you and getting you unstuck. So that's why I'm kind of going in on you and focusing and lasering in on you and your mindset, because the thing that's going to get you unstuck is up here in the way you process and think about your life and your perspective, and that's what's going to get you unstuck. Come on, if this was beneficial, I believe in you. I know you could get unstuck. I need you to subscribe, all right? I need you to share this with somebody who is stuck, who needs to get unstuck. We're going to be doing some more parts, so look for part 1, part 2, part 3, okay, about this thing. It starts with your mind, and here are some ways you can get unstuck. So hit that subscribe button. Man, I love you. There's nothing you could do about it. We're going to do this thing together. You bet not give up.